This could be a gift for some that I will chuck in the future. The niggas come here. This one will be short. Hello, internet is something I want to talk about, and I think it's obvious for most people, honestly speaking. So I mean, I'm gonna be saying things which are very, very obvious. Um, but I'm learning it like the last few 2 months. In the last 3 months, I moved from being a salaryman to, I want to say, an entrepreneur. Although I want to say that when the money starts coming in, like proper. So, and there have been like before there were things people used to say, and I used to think either they have a problem or I have a problem because people are so intense. They used to monitor their. I think it was like attaching, like your emotional state to the work you do. Like, oh, you need to cut off all these people. You need to I don't know, let nobody play with the time and all these things. And I was very passive about it. I mean, I was like, yeah, but also like, this is obvious stuff, right? Whatever. I feel like it's the same thing as like when you tell kids like study versus play, where it's like, yeah, it's obvious, whatever. And I started working for myself, and there was such a massive shift in how much my mental state and my emotional state directly affected the work I did. So that if you had deadlines set up, your deadlines go way off just because you're in a funk, or just because your emotional state is all over the place. And this was, I have no idea, like I have no way to convey how massive this has been for me, because I have because all I've gotten is damage from not knowing how much it matters when you're working for yourself to always be your best self. I mean, that's such a positivism thinking type of thing. If I'm not wrong, I think I even talked badly about it somewhere in the channel, in one of the videos, I'm pretty sure. But the last few months have taught me like small things, like all of a sudden there's no time for people who put you down. People who bring up like feelings of guilt or feelings of people who make you feel like you're lesser than you are. Literally, because it slows you down, right? It limits the number of hours you can work in a day and the number of tasks that you can complete within the same day. This has happened to me like a couple of times. I'd say twice majorly, like with people, where like a person would come, they would somehow interfere with like your emotional state and whatever, and they'd leave. And this is maybe even a friend, and they're not even necessarily maybe interfering out of, consciously. Maybe it's something small like the way you guys relate and da 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 da. But because right now whatever I'm working on, any place that I am in at a particular point is my working place. If I'm at my cousin's and I have my laptop, that's where I'm working. If I have my phone there, that's where I'm working at. If I'm in a matatu or a bus, and I have a phone, I'm working there. And so any kind of shift in my emotional and mental energy causes a surge, causes the place where I'm working to no longer be a workplace, but a place where I just kind of like, what's the word, just kind of brood about what's happened. And so all of a sudden it's become very, very important for me to cut people off. Who knew? Yeah. I mean, this is, like I said, this is obvious things. I feel like so many people already know this, but I also feel like it's interesting how, as a person, as a salaryman, that's an interesting word. As a salaryman, I could afford those things. I could afford people coming in and disrupting a work day, because at the end of the month, and I used to really, really hit my deadlines, but whether I do or whether I do not, who cares? There's a salary that comes at the end of the day. In the place where I used to work, I was a cog in a wheel, and so at the end of the day, like the only job I had, for example, like where I was a software developer, so was development. I never had to think about the marketing of things or the organization or the design of things, because there were people who would handle all these things, and then we would come together and build this one thing. Or there's somebody who would even, like, for example, just do supervision so that things don't go too far out of sync with each other and all those kinds of things. Now it's important for me to maintain a level of confidence. It's important for me to maintain a level of level-headedness and all this. There's a stability that I need, mentally and emotionally, just so I can get some things done on time, and that's insane, you know. So I don't. So I don't know. I feel like the comparative nature of the two states, work states, was what was interesting. Being in a place where you can afford to not be at 100, but always have money coming in. You know, you always have rent, you always have food, and being in a place where, you know, a girl saying no to you costs you money, or like a friend talking down to you, or like a stranger conveying maybe how much you or the thing that you're selling isn't that much or whatever. um like the dip is, and so now it's like, it's not even learning about how to just snip people off and all those things, and that's like an option. It's also around learning how, okay, fine, rejection has come my way, right? When you go home, you know, don't go sleep. um Sit down on your chair, make a task, and see the task through before you sleep. And that's, I mean, even if they say, even as I am saying it to whoever watches this, nobody watches this. It's like I'm telling myself what needs to get done, because I get it right, and but I feel like I've more than failed in that particular department, just because I wasn't as aware of how important it was to create an environment where you love yourself. That's the term I'll use. That's so odd for me to say, because like when you truly do, right? When I feel like when a person can reject you and it's either criticism or it doesn't apply, you know, you can look at yourself, you know, objectively, and you know your worth, but at the same time really, like, you know, take actions which appreciate you. Then, you know, things change. Like for example, like I noticed if I take tea, my productivity goes up, and I was wondering, why didn't I know this before? Because the first thing that I did when I started working on my things is take tea away, because I thought I had a problem, like an addiction, but I didn't. It just really helped me have like a brighter outlook on any day. So even now, because I'm feeling pretty wonky, I think I'm gonna go take tea. Ah, maybe maybe 2 3 cups for myself, and then just walk. Because a few things make sense now, maybe they won't make sense in the future. So I don't know. That's it for me. The moral story of this video is like, yo, my niggas, like, drink tea, and like with as much milk as you can put in there. Milk is God. There we go. Have a nice